Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatham for the brothers, Yahweh Shemal of the Thaba Hashem Yahushua for the sisters. This is the Friday night High Desert class. I'm Priest Officer Shadow Rock, and we're going to go into what are the most important laws for Blacks and Hispanics. What are the most important laws for Blacks and Hispanics? Now, you got laws of America. Yeah, we got to go by those laws. Here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under the Commanding General Yohana, we do follow the laws of America, because if not, you go to jail, bottom line. And also, more importantly than that, it's what the Lord tells us to do. Whatever land that Blacks and Hispanics and so-called Native Indians are, we ought to obey those laws in that land, whether they are people or not, because we dwell there, because we live there. That's what Israelites do. We have to follow the laws of that land. Now, what are the most important laws for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? Well, let's see what the Bible says, because the Bible is our constitution. You know, you got the people that stormed the Capitol. They don't know what the hell they're doing. We're in the merge of probably a civil war between two oppressors, two so-called white men disagreeing and going to take up arms against each other. That's what we've seen just recently in the news. That's why they stormed the Capitol and tried to grab the votes, because they wanted Trump to continue to be in office, because the good old boys want to make sure that they can reign over us and oppress us further. You know, they have been oppressing God's people for too long now. It's time for us to come up out of this slavery, okay? And self-evident in this country falling apart, because the Lord is getting ready to take a vengeance for us. So what are the laws for Blacks and Hispanics? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true children of Israel, the true children of the Bible. You understand? We come from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our forefathers. We make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so what should we be following? What kind of laws should we be following besides America's laws? Okay, what are the most important laws for us? So my first precept is going to be on, let me get Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 5. Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 5. Go ahead, read.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught ye statutes and judgments.
The Lord said, I taught you statutes and judgments. I taught you these statutes and these judgments. He gave them to Israelites. He gave these laws to us. He taught us statutes and judgments. Okay, read.
Even as the Lord my God commanded me.
Okay, even as the Lord my God commanded me. Go ahead, continue.
That ye should do so in the land, whether ye go to possess it.
That means like to take it. Like I just took my phone back. Whether you go to the land to possess that land, to take that land, whatever land you go, you're supposed to follow God's laws, because he said, I gave these laws and these judgments to you. To wherever land you go as an Israelite to possess these lands, I give these laws to you. Okay. So it's important that we know he already gave Blacks and Hispanics laws and statutes to go by. See, but we as a people are in our ignorance and in our unwillingness to follow these laws. We're under the most wretched curses that the Lord can give us because of what we've done. Okay. Now, let me get verse 6.
Verse 6. Keep therefore and go and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nation.
This is your what? Your what?
For this is your wisdom and your understanding in this sight of the nation.
Okay. This is your wisdom and your laws. I want you to stay right there. These are your wisdoms and your laws. That's what the Lord says in the sight. These are your wisdom and understanding, Salaki, in the sight of all the nations. In the sight of the nations. It says of the nations. That's really all the nations. Okay. And this is our wisdom. This is our wisdom. This is our understanding. These laws are our understanding. You know, these laws make sure that we stay in good understanding and alignment with the Most High and in agreement with the Most High God Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. All right. We need to make sure that we follow these laws. Okay. This is our wisdom in the sight of the nations. So if I'm following the laws and I'm doing what the Lord tells me to do, these nations will be looking at me like, wow, you don't do that, but you do that. You don't do this, but you do this. Wow, man, I never heard it like that. That's kind of wild, but makes sense, you know? And even if it don't make sense to them, it makes sense to our creator, you know? So this is the wisdom in the sight of the nations, you know? What's one of the laws of God?
To not eat pork.
Say it again.
To not eat pork.
Very good. One of the laws is not to eat pork. Unlawful food. Unclean. In other words, unclean food. That's one of the laws. Okay. We're not to eat pork, but we're not to eat what else?
Shrimp, crab, lobster.
There you go. Pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. That's just among some of the other unclean meats we're to eat. We're not to eat. We're forbidden to eat them. You know, the Most High doesn't want us to eat that because that makes us unclean. I'm touch a shrimp, I touch a crab, I touch a lobster. I'm unclean for the day. I'm unclean until that evening. Understand? I touch that pork. I'm unclean until that evening. Unclean, which means I can't go to Passover, can I? If I eat that, right? I can't really, I can't sit up here and teach. Okay. I can't attend none of the holy days like Purim and the Feast of Dedication and Hanukkah and the Day of Atonement because I'm unclean. Okay. And even attending Sabbath services on Saturdays, attending Sabbath service, I'm unclean. I can't go. I cannot go because I'd be unclean. Hopefully, Lord, let it don't be because I ate none of that foul meat like that. But we said shrimp, crab, lobster, and pork, and amongst other animals. Okay, so this is our wisdom in the sight of all the nations. All the nations will be wise and understanding above them, really above them. Okay, continue.
Verse 7. Wait, no.
No. Started nations.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
See that? The nation will hear this and say, surely this is a wise and understanding people. The nations will understand it. Those that really know that we're not supposed to do that. They know that they know who the real Israelites are. They know who they are, who we are. They know that we're in captivity here in America, under the siege of Trump, under the siege of the good old boys, under the siege of Homeland Security and the KKK and all these other white supremacist groups who kill people, who actually kill our people, not just the people, they kill our people, blacks and Hispanics. Okay. We're under their oppression, man. All right. But this is our wisdom because we know by following, we in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge know that by following these laws and following these statutes, following these commandments, that our Lord will see on high, that will hear us on high and come down and avenge us from KKK, from the good old boys, Homeland Security, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Kazimatazi program, the Planned Parenthood, and all of these things that are against us. Okay. Understand? The skinheads, all of them will be destroyed. Because that's what the Lord will ultimately do. He's going to ultimately do it. He's definitely going to do it. But see, we have to do our part. We have to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. The Most High is not taking no mess. He's not taking no excuses. That's why the motto in this school is no cowards and no excuses, man. Lord ain't taking no excuses. If you still eating that shrimp, crab, and lobster, you still want to go to Red Lobster because you want to impress that whore. You want to impress that whore that you're trying to impress. So you're going to go to the Red Lobster because she like to go. You're going to go eat it because it tastes good to you. You're going to eat it because you think that's the right thing to do. It didn't kill you, didn't hurt you, but the Lord is going to kill and hurt you and her. Understand? For breaking his law, statutes, and commandments. Only, and I stress only, if you are Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, because he gave these laws to us. See, he taught us these laws. He taught these laws to Adam. He taught these laws to Noah. He taught these laws to Abraham. He taught these laws to Isaac. He taught these laws to Jacob, to Moses, to Aaron, to all the prophets of this Bible. The Lord taught these laws, statutes, and commandments, gave them to Moses, and Moses gave them to us, and taught us to follow these laws, man. It's very heavy. It is the most important laws, that group of laws that you should follow if you're Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. If you're not, well, you're of another nation, so the Lord will deal with you later. Understand? So this is what we have to follow. Let's see. Let's go to verse 7.
Verse 7. For what nation is there so great? Who has God so nigh?
So nigh. And nigh means near. So near when you're nigh. It says, what nation there is so great? What nation is there so great than the Israelites? This entire book is only for Israelites. This Holy Bible, King James Version, all right, with the law, statutes, and commandments in it, this is only for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. I don't know what you heard in the Christian church. Well, actually, I do. You heard that God love everybody, and this is their book too. And that's a lie. The Lord taught us these statutes and commandments, okay? Let me see. Let's go to Psalms 147 and 19. Psalms 147 and verse 19.
Psalm chapter 147, verse 19. He sheweth his word unto Jacob.
He showeth his word unto Jacob. He showed his word to Jacob. Jacob is who? Go ahead. Mashpat.
The father of the 12 tribes.
Right. Father of the 12 tribes of Israel. Jacob's the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. The Lord showed his laws to Jacob. He showed his laws and he made sure that Jacob got these laws. Understand? Read.
His statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
His statutes and his judgment unto Israel. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Jacob had how many sons? How many sons did Jacob have?
12.
12 sons. Jacob had 12 sons. He showed his laws to the 12 sons. Thus, he showed his laws to Israel. Okay. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in particular. So these laws are the most important laws that we could ever follow, ever. Okay, until our King Yahushua come back, and most likely after our King Yahushua come back, we will still be following these laws. But these are the laws that the Lord set in place for us to follow. He showeth his word unto Jacob. Okay, his laws and statutes unto Israel, right? Read.
Verse 20.
Now hold up. Before you read that, this is most important. Pay attention. Christians. If you Christian in here, you came out the Christian church and you think that God loves everybody, you may be new to these classes, but listen real deep to verse 20. Read.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
He have not what?
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
He give his laws to Jacob in what? Verse 19. He give his judgments to Israel, to Jacob, which is Israel. Okay, that's Israelites, the sons of Jacob. He have not dealt so with any other nation. So listen up, Christians. So when you say that God loved everybody, if he loved them, he would have loved them enough to give it to the other nations like Ammon, like the Ishmaelites, like the Girgasites, the Jebusites, the Moabites. In other words, the Chinese, the Arabs, the Africans, the Japanese, okay, the East Indian. He would have gave the laws to them. It does not say so in this Bible. So don't try to add anything to this Bible or take away, lest you be found under the curses, be stricken with the curses in this book. So when you run around saying that God love everybody, the Christian church put that in your mouth. He put you to sleep. He put you to sleep, and you in a deep sleep because now you love everybody. You're into everybody. You think the Lord gave these judgments to everybody, but we just read it, that he showed his word to Jacob. We read it, that he gave his statutes and judgments to Israel. We read it, that he has not dealt so with any other nation. Any more on that? Read.
And as for his judgments, they have not known them.
Who are the they? As for his judgments, they have not known them. Who are the they? Who don't know God's judgments?
Israel.
Who don't know God's judgments?
The other nations.
The other nations. The other nations don't know God's judgments. Okay. And as far as we're concerned, we know, because I know that's what you wanted to say, Mashapat. I do know that's what you want to say.
I thought you were talking
Right.
about the heathens.
Yeah. I was talking about the heathens. They don't know God's judgments. They don't know his statutes and commandments. The Lord did not give them to him, as we just read. Read 20 one more time.
He has not dealt with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
That's right. Praise ye the Lord. Let's give the Lord a hand for choosing Israel. But yet we got to live up to that. We have to live up to keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments, keeping his Sabbath days, keeping his holy days, keeping righteous judgment, keeping brotherhood amongst the brothers and sisters, keeping all the things that's in this book that we're supposed to keep as Israelites, being clean, understand? Staying away from foul meat, staying away from whores, staying away from smoking, anything you put to your mouth that's a cigarette, that's fire, that's a sin. That's against the Lord. That's a sin. All right. We have to keep these to show our worthiness before our King Yahushua Christ, Yahushua in the Hebrew, comes back. Because Christ is going to crack that sky with them million black angels. Understand? Because Christ is a black man. Understand? And he's going to carry out the judgment of this earth. He's going to tip this world off the axis. Because it's coming that way anyway. We're going right, steering right into the World War III. Understand? And if we as a people, as God's people, God's chosen people, Israel, are not keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, that we're going to burn just like everybody else is. You understand? So these are the things that we need to do. We need to follow these laws. You understand? Yeah. So let's drop that. Let's go to let me get John 14 and 15. John 14 and 15.
John chapter 14 and verse 15. If you love me.
This the Lord saying, if you love me, because Because you want to say you love everybody. You want to say you love the Lord. You want to say you know the Lord. Most Christians run around talking about they love the Lord and all that stuff. They don't even know the Lord. They don't even know the Lord. And they look at you. Do you know the Lord? Do you believe in Jesus? Have you given your life to Jesus? Come off it. Knock it off. You got that pork chop in your mouth while you're asking me the goddamn question and that shrimp on your breath. While you asking me that question with your unclean self. Read.
Verse 16.
15.
If you love me, keep my commandments.
Keep what?
Keep my commandments.
Keep my commandments. Lord said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Show me that you love me. It's a verb, man. It's action. Keep my commandments if you love me. You're talking all that yang. You're saying how you love Jesus. You gave your life to Jesus. You got some type of relationship with me. You don't have no relationship with me. You don't even keep my commandments. If you love me, keep my commandments. That's what verse 15 say. We ought to keep the commandments, man. That's the judgments. Those are the statutes. Understand? The laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, Yahweh, are in this book under the chapter Leviticus, if you want to go into what the laws are. They're called Levitical law. And that's what we follow in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander General Yohana. And that's the only laws that really mean and matter to us, first and foremost. Understand? Continue. Go verse 16.
Verse 16. And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever.
All right. So these are these laws, right? So let's go to Romans 13 and 8. Let's go to Romans chapter 13 and verse 8. See, the Lord wants obedient servants, man. The Lord wants us to serve him. He wants us to be brothers to our brothers. He wants us to feed the poor. He wants us to keep his holy days, And it's important that we do these things.
Romans chapter 13, verse 8. Owe no man anything but to love one another. For he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law.
He is what?
He hath fulfilled the law.
If he does what?
Fulfilled the law.
If he does what?
For he that loveth another.
That's right. For he that loveth another, he has fulfilled the law. You see people out there don't even give people no food, don't give them no money, don't give them no help and no comfort, no clothes, no nothing when they can do these things. That Christian church is responsible for these things, and they don't follow it to the fullest. Okay, they need to follow it to the fullest because that's what our King Christ did. He fed the poor. He said, well, you feed the poor, you fed me. Okay. Let's go to verse 9.
Romans chapter 13, verse 9. For this thou shalt not commit adultery.
What is adultery? Adultery is having unlawful sex with another man's wife. Okay. Sleeping with another man's wife, that is adultery. Continue.
Thou shalt not kill.
Read.
Thou shalt not steal. Mm-hmm. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not covet. And if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this same, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
So it is comprehended. It's understood. In other words, it's understood that you'll love your neighbor like you love yourself. Now, you don't want no other man having sex with your wife. So why are you going to do that to another man? Why are you going to do that to another man? Okay. You over there coveting what another man has or what somebody has. Why don't you go out and get your own? Why don't you stop paying attention to all of what they have and start doing things for yourself so you'll have your own? If you follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, you surely will have your own. Okay. So if you fulfill this law, You love others like you love yourself, man. It's important. You know, we follow these laws here. You know, you don't find that here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, all that nonsense that you can hear in these other fake groups, you know, running around, sleeping with other people's wives, running around, having sex with white women, running around, you know, not taking care of other women who we have sex with, not knowing that once you do that, sex is marriage. So you're married to that woman if you do. You understand? We don't do that here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, okay? Under Commander General Hanna. That's damn sure unheard of. All right. Okay, so let's drop that and let's go to Romans 6 and verse 1. Romans chapter 6 and verse 1.
Romans chapter 6, verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin, that grace may abound?
Okay. What will we say? Should we continue sinning? Okay. That grace may abound. What is grace? What is grace, sis?
I was gonna say like kind of like mercy.
It's an ingredient of mercy. It is an ingredient of mercy. What is grace?
Choice?
No. What is grace? That grace may abound. So that's about grace may continue. Grace is a time period. It's a time period that the Lord has given you a chance to get yourself in shape, get yourself in order, get yourself in discipline, get yourself in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, and start studying and start living these commandments, start living these statutes and these judgments, start living these. That grace period is just a time period. It says, what shall we say then? Continue sinning? Well, we just going to continue selling dope. We're going to continue prostituting, continue smoking weed and smoking cocaine and methamphetamine and all the ills of society, all the drugs that they done poured in here. First of all, let's find out what is sin. Anybody know what sin is? Before that, let me do this. Let's go to 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. Let's go there first.
1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgress also the law.
Who does what? Read it from the top.
Whosoever commits sin transgress also the law.
So what is sin?
The law?
Transgression.
Put it together. What is sin? Put them together.
Oh.
Whoever committed transgression.
Y'all all are right, but you two need to put it together. You said transgression and you said law. And what did you say?
Whoever committed transgression of the law.
Okay. Sin. Huh?
Breaking the law?
There you go, like breaking the law. Sin is the transgression of the law. That's why I wanted y'all to put it together. You said transgression and law. Sin is the transgression of the law. Okay. That's what sin is. It's when you break, like you said, when you break the law, you break God's law. That's sin. Okay. That's what sin is. Continue reading. We have 1 John 3 and 4.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
For sin is the transgression of the law. So it tells you right there, right? So that's, we make no mistake. You know, Christians, when you ask them what sin is, they don't have the answer. They don't have that answer. Going against God. They're going against God. What do you mean by going against God? What do you mean by that? What is sin? What is sin? And the reason they don't know sin is because they're sinning anyway. And their pastors are responsible for not teaching them what real sin is. Sin is the transgression of the law. So that should tell you as a pastor, the laws are not done away with, and they're important, even though that's another topic, but they are not done away with. Sin is a transgression thereof. Sin is that transgression of that law, man. How the hell can it be done away when right there it says it's the transgression of the law? You know what I mean? Mashapat, you know what I mean?
That's right.
And it's like, what the hell? What do we go by? What's the rule of thumb that we go by? What is the law that we have to go by? We have to go by what's in this Bible. And this Bible has laws, statutes, and commandments. And they're very important. They are the most important thing for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians because it's from the Lord, man. It's from the Most High God, Yahweh. He gave them laws, right? He said, behold, I've given you laws. He also said, he show off his laws unto Jacob, his judgments and statutes unto Jacob, and unto Israel, his judgments and statutes unto Israel. That's why these scriptures are here, even in the New Testament. All right. Let's go to, is there any more on that? All right. So let's go to Romans 6 and 15.
6 and 16?
15.
Romans chapter 6, verse 15. What then shall we sin? Because we are not under the law, but under grace.
See, that's it right there. What shall we say then? Since because we're not under the law, but under grace. Grace is just a time period. It's just a time. You got a time that you get the grace. Like they say, you get a grace period when you're paying your bills. You don't pay your car note, you got a 10-day grace period. You don't pay your storage bill, you got a 5-day grace period. You don't pay your cell phone, you got a 7-day grace period or whatever. That's a grace period, a moment in time, how you say it, a capsule of time, a time that's cut out right there for you to go to get yourself together. Because do you have to still pay your phone bill? Anybody? Do you have to still pay your car note? Anybody? Do you still have to pay rent? Anybody? That's right. You still have to pay these things, but you're given a grace period. So you still have to follow these laws. You're just given a grace period. You're not going to be abounding in sin, right? Yeah, we just keep sinning and going. That's one of the reasons why they stopped animal sacrifice in the Old Testament, because they wasn't following these laws. They just go get a cow after they sin. And then when they get a cow for forgiven, they go back out and sin again. They have to bring another cow in. Damn, they'll kill the whole herd because they keep sinning, keep doing the things that are against the Most High God. Keep eating shrimp, crab, and lobster. Keep smoking dope. Keep being a whore. You know, all these things. Keep bearing false witness. You know, all these things, stealing and all that, because we think that we just go get. I just go get another goat. I just go get another ram. And then I just have them sacrifice it. Then I'm good. I'm clear of my sins. Well, that's like the Christian church, right? That's what they believe, at least. You know, party on Friday night, be the biggest whore you want to be the biggest child molester, come back and ask God for forgiveness. And you did it last week. You did it the week before that. And you're going to do it next week. You're going to do it tomorrow. See, here in the Israelite School and University of Practical Knowledge, 1 West, under the command of General Hana, we have to change ourselves, man. We have to get rid of that old man. We got to get rid of that old person, that foul individual that kept us going to prison, that kept us with STDs, that kept us in conflict with our neighbors, fighting our neighbors, keeping us, have to always look and watch our back all the time, and all this nonsense, all these things we could have avoided if we would just follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. See, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to get ourselves right in that grace period, whatever time that is. But it's a time to stop that. Our nation cannot afford for us to continue and abound in sin. We can't abound in sin no more. We can't be doing these things no more. We have to wake up, face east, and pray to the Most High God that he forgives us for these things that we've done and stop doing them. More importantly, stop doing them. It's time to stop. You got to drop that. You got to drop that out. You need to drop that for real. You understand? Our nation is in jeopardy because you're doing that. You're putting our nation at jeopardy by doing those things. Not only do you doing it for yourself, but you're doing that because you're part of Israel and you're partaking in the sins of Israel and the sins that the Lord told us not to do, because all these other nations around us are doing it. They are into it. They're into Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving. You understand? They're in it to celebrating their birthdays and Mother's Day and holidays, every holiday. But soon as you tell them you're going to Passover, they look at you like, you what? You going to take a Hanukkah? Oh, you doing what? Feast of Dedication. Ooh, what's that? They don't even know what the hell it is because they don't study this Bible. Oh, but I'm a Christian. I follow God. I read the Bible. Don't know nothing. Don't know this from their elbow. Okay, so it says, "What then shall we sin?" Read that again. Go take it from the top. 6 and 15. Romans 6 and verse 15.
Romans chapter 6, verse 15. What then shall we sin? Because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid.
It says, God forbid. What shall we say then? You say, are we under these sins? Yeah, I mean, are we under grace? And shall we continue to sin? God forbid. God forbid. God forbid you continue to go that path that you're doing. It's time to cut that and cut that now. It ain't time to wait, We want to wait. And Christians want to continue to sin and this, that, everything is much more important. You understand? So we have to continue in the laws, keeping the statutes, keeping the commandments, and keeping what the Lord gave us, man, so that we can be wise in the sight of all these nations. All these nations are just doing what they want to do because it's not their culture. Our culture is to become priests and kings. That's what the Lord intended for Israel, to become priests and kings. Okay, so we have to drop that. Let's go to First John 2 and verse 3. First John 2 and verse 3.
1 John chapter 2, verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him.
We know him. Who's the him?
God.
Right. Thereby we know that we know him. Continue reading.
If we keep his commandments.
If we do what?
If we keep his commandments.
Now we could sin and get a goat.
If we keep his commandments.
Now we can just go to the Christian church and they'll forgive us.
If we keep his commandments.
We got to keep God's commandments. We have to keep his commandments. Therefore, we know that we know him. Christians say that they know God, but they don't read this scripture. They don't read what this scripture says in the Bible. They know God, they know that music. They know that homosexual's name in the choir. They know his name, They know that sister with the big hat that hate men. They know them gossiping sisters in the back. They know them people over there. But they say they say they know him. No, they do not know the Most High God. Take it from the top.
1 John chapter 2, verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments.
We know him that if we keep his commandments, and the him is God, Yahweh, the Most High God. If we keep his commandments, then we know God. We could say we know God in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge because we keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. Understand? We could say that because we continue to keep them and we cease from sinning. We don't sin up in here. You understand? Continue.
Verse 4.
Continue where you left off.
Yeah, verse 4.
Go ahead.
He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar.
He that says, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments. See, that's the other part. See, I had to use that to cut a Christian one time to tell me how much he loved God, that he know God and all this and that in the conversation. I said, well, you keeping his commandments? And then I showed him this verse, and he got away from me because he know he don't keep his commandments. Read.
And the truth is not in him.
Take it, read it from the beginning, from the top.
He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him.
He's a liar, and the truth is not in him. Don't you know Satan lies? Don't you know our oppressor lies? Our oppressor said that he would keep the treaties with our so-called Native Indian brothers. And every treaty that he established with us, the chiefs of our Native Indian brothers, he broke each and every treaty that he kept, that he said he was going to keep. Therefore, he's a liar. He that says he knows God and keepeth not his commandments is the same. A liar. You're a liar. You run around lying, man. You know, you run around saying you know God, you love God. You got pork all up in your mouth, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You're gonna go get you some ribs, get you some chitlins, get you some hog maws. You know, you're gonna get all that stuff and eat them on up. You know, you're gonna get that shrimp. You're gonna get them crab legs, and all of that ceviche, octopus, all that stuff. Sis, you had a question?
Oh no, I was just asking that. I was thinking like lying is just like as big as any other commandment because it's just people do it all the time and they don't need to do it.
Right, you're not supposed to do it. You're supposed to be truthful and righteous and upright in all your dealings and all your manners.
Yeah.
You be upright in all of what you do. Okay?
And I feel like some people just forget that it's in the Bible. Like, do not lie. Like, isn't that like, you know?
Shoot, they probably don't even know.
Yeah.
Most likely, they don't even know. Okay?
But isn't it like worse when they do know and they still do it anyway?
Oh yeah, that's worse. Right. That's a scripture also. To know to do the truth and do it not. This is a sin. It's actually a sin, and it's greater on you because you knew. You know, and there's a precept also says it's better that you have not known the truth. If you've known and left the truth, you came in the truth, you left the truth. It was better that you didn't know the truth. If you didn't know, it would have been better for you because you knew the truth. And like we're saying here, you dropped your sword. You dropped your sword. Guess what? It was better for you not even to have picked it up at all. Okay. So yeah, sinning is lying is very that goes hand in hand with sinning. That goes hand in hand. Isn't that what all the presidents do before when they take their oath and when they get up there and pitch their speech and do their debates and all? I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do that for you. You know, and don't do nothing fit for us. The state is still the same. It's still the same in the ghettos. It's still the same in the barrios. It's still the same in the reservations. So what really, tell me, what did Obama do? What did he really do? And we keep as our people is always rejoicing over crumbs. We got this much. He came in and he did that much. And I'm pushing my fingers together because he damn near did nothing. Understand? But we happy because of that. Come on, man. We got nations that are so far advanced than we are, so far financially stable than we are. So much more opportunities for other nations than we have opportunities. I remember sitting in college, and I'm in the tutoring department. I'm trying to learn this math. I'm raising my hand, and the tutors are looking at everybody else but me. Everybody else but me. And then giving me a little bit of time, answering one or two questions to me, and then moving on real quick. They didn't give a damn about me getting my college education. That's how it is here in America as our nations versus these other nations. They don't give a damn about us getting shot in the streets like George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and like Akai Gurley and like Philando Castile and Sandra Bland and Eric Garner. You know, and all these and many others. They don't give a damn. Our blood is in this nation. Black blood is cheap. Hispanic blood is cheap. You understand? That's why the most important laws is following these laws, man. The laws of God, the laws of the Most High God, Yahweh, following His laws, statutes, and commandments for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians only, man. That's what's most important. Okay, did we finish that whole thing, or what do we do? Okay, so did we go to verse 5? Let's go to verse 4 and 5.
We already did 4.
Let's do what we didn't read. Read.
Verse 5. But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfect.
Okay, so whoever keeps the laws. Read that again.
Verse 5. But whosoever keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected.
Is the Lord of God perfected. So he who keeps his laws, verily the love of God is perfected in him. It's perfected in us when we keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Inside of us, if we keep in his laws, the love of God is perfected inside of us. Okay. That's what the point is in the scriptures. That's what the point is to this class. You know, the love of God is perfected in us. We're not running around boasting that to you. We're not running around saying, do you know Jesus? We're not running around doing that. We're telling you to keep these laws. We're running around trying to tell you to keep the law, teaching you to keep God's laws, keep his statutes, keep his commandments. You understand? That's what we're trying to do, so we could help you perfect that love of God inside of you, because that's what you need to get out of this wretched kingdom that's getting ready to fall down. That's falling all down all around us. All right. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5 and verse 17. Matthew 5 and 17.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
Okay, so who is here speaking? Who's speaking?
Yahweh?
Who?
Yahweh?
No.
Yahweh?
Yahweh. Right. Christ is speaking. Read it again. Matthew 5 and 17. You got to keep these hold on to these precepts, okay? Pay attention.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets.
Christ said here, I am not come. Don't think that I'm coming here to destroy the law and the prophets. Don't think that. Go ahead.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
I'm not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Christ is coming to fulfill the law. What does that mean? Because I'm going to tell you what the Christian church thinks about that.
To kill? Or because fulfill means to execute, right?
Well, to execute means to put it to carry out. It can mean to execute is a different. It could mean those two things. To kill, to execute somebody with a sword or whatever, with a bullet. But to execute means to carry out. I'm going to execute judgment. Okay, so in this case, it means what does to fulfill mean? What does to fulfill mean in this precept? What does it mean? I'm not come to destroy the law or the prophets, but to fulfill.
To do?
To do. To do what?
To do the.
Okay, we're not going to get stuck on this, but I'm going to give it to you. Christ said, I come to fulfill the law. meaning that I come to teach you how to keep the law so that you could fulfill it. To teach you how to keep these commandments. Christ came to teach us how to keep these laws. That's what it means. The Christian church saying he came here just to do all the laws. He did them. Okay, he did them. That's it. Hand the homework assignment in. It's over. No. Christ didn't come in that context. He came here to actually teach us how to keep these laws. How to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's the most important thing. Okay. Continue.
18, verse 18. For verily I saw unto you.
Verily.
I say unto you.
Mm-hmm.
Till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
All right. So one jot and one tittle. It says, for verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass. All right. One jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass. All right. So what is one jot and one tittle won't pass? What do you mean by that? What is one jot and what is one tittle? When you're writing, what would a jot mean?
Like your thoughts?
No. When I'm writing in a writing form, not one jot or one tittle will pass. One jot means one dot. Like you end your sentence with a dot, you say da 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 da, and then you end it with a dot. That's what it is. Okay. So not one period will pass. Now, what does the tittle mean?
I want to say, no.
Okay, so we just established the dot. What else?
The sentence?
No. The tittle means one slash. Like when you take a T and you dot your I's and you cross your T's. It's the cross. The when you slash that T to make the letter T, that's a tittle. So not one period or one slash will pass. Okay, continue reading.
Till all be fulfilled.
Till all be fulfilled. Okay, so the Christ is telling you he's not going to let nothing pass until he fulfills this law, and meaning teach you how to keep these laws, teach you how to keep his statutes, teach you how to keep his commandments. Okay, now nothing else is going to pass until he teaches you that. Okay, continue reading.
Verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments.
Who shall ever break these commandments? Go ahead.
And shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Right. He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. If he teaches, if he break these commandments, he break these statutes, he'll be called the least in the kingdom of the Most High. You'll be called the least if you teach your people like you continuing in that Christian church and saying it's okay to eat. All meats are good. All meats are good. Keep Easter. What did you do for Christmas? You teaching people to break these laws. You're going to be called the least in the kingdom of God. That's what that's really meaning. Okay. You're teaching men how to break God's laws. You're teaching men how to get further and further into their own lustful desires. You know, Is any more on that?
He shall be called the least, but whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
But whosoever what?
But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
The same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. You teaching people how to keep Passover. You teaching people how to, not follow all these things. It's important. Salaki. Hold on for the class.
Sounds like it. What's that? They want to talk to me? Okay. What?
Oh, yeah. So if you're teaching people how to break these laws, statutes, and commandments, then you're going to be called the least in heaven. You're going to be the least in the kingdom of the Most High God. All right. Any more on that? I mean, you'll be called great in heaven, Salaki. If you're teaching how to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, you'll be called the great in the kingdom of heaven. The Most High going to be like, well done. You did the right thing. You taught them how to keep my statutes and commandments. You taught them, not to be a sinner, not to eat that shrimp, crab, and lobster, how to keep these laws, how to keep my holy days. You made sure that they attended all these holy days. See, that's the part that's the most important. Okay. We're going to drop that and let's go to Matthew 19 and 17. Matthew chapter 19 and verse 17.
Matthew chapter 19, verse 17.
Okay.
And he said unto him, why callest thou me?
Read it one more time.
Matthew chapter 19, verse 17. And he said unto him, why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
So what is that saying? That's saying if you want to enter into life, you'll keep God's commandments. Christ said, why did you call me good? There's no man good in the earth. Read that at the top again.
Matthew chapter 19, verse 17. And he said unto him, why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
So you want to enter into life? You want to be in the life? Keep the commandments. That's what's important. That's what the law, keep God's laws. You want to enter into life? Keep God's laws. It's important that you understand that, man, and come out of all the nonsense that you're learning in these churches. Come out of the nonsense that you're learning in Catholicism. Cut out all this nonsense that you're learning in Islam. You're not an Arab anyway, so why are you following Islam? Okay, let's go to 1 Maccabees 3 and 48. 1 Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48. You got it? 3 and 48. Chapter 3, verse 48.
First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the
heathens
heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
So this is what happened. And during the time of the Maccabees, we were in the captivities. You know, Jerusalem was under siege. It was being destroyed. You know, our temples were being just overrun, and altars were being pulled down, and we were being taught to break the laws that we just talked about. We were being taught how to, you know, eat that shrimp, crab, and lobster and bow down to the king, and all the things that are ungodly, all the things that are not of the Lord, all the unrighteousness that's on the face of the damn earth, we were taught to do at that time. But what the heathen were doing, they were also undermining who we were, who we are as a people. They laid open the book of the law, which they had. They had the images in the book of the law. They sought to lay their images in the book. In other words, they were putting white paint on black prophets, putting white paint on our King Yahushua, all the images of him, you know. And you can see more evidence of that in a book called The Russian Icons. And in the Russian Icons, you could see the artists going through and putting white paint on brown faces, putting white paint on black faces. You understand? So they laid open our book and they sought to put the likeness of their images. And that likeness is to be white. Okay. That's what they did. And they were steady undermining us and taking away, stealing our identification, our identity. So it's high time that we bring our identity back. And the only place you will find that is in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under the command of General Yohana. You will find that here because we keep the laws in the ISUPK, and we'll tell you who you are and give you back your culture, give you back the fact that you're the real Jew of the earth. You're the real Israelite of the earth. You're the Hebrew Israelite, not no other nation but you. No other nation on this planet is a Hebrew Israelite but you. If you're Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. See, they laid open the images and sought to paint the likeness. All right, read that again.
And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
That's right, the heathen sought. And what is a heathen? What is a heathen?
Christian?
Damn, no, might as well say that. Might as well say that. Go ahead.
Any other nation other than the 12 tribes?
That's right. Really, any other nation that are other than the 12 tribes of Israel. Because you got Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians who are Christians, but they're not really heathens. Nation-wise, the heathens are your East Indians, your Africans, your Chinese, your Japanese, your Arabs, you know, all those other nations, you know, those are the nations that are heathens. Okay, and your white man, of course, because that's who painted these images. The white man painted those images. So we wouldn't see Christ as truly being who he is, a black man. Okay. And any and all other prophets, black men, Black and Hispanic men. Okay. So that's what this chapter says about our law. Let me get 1 John 5, verse 2. 1 John 5 and 2.
1 John chapter 5, verse 2. By this we know that we love the children of God. When we love God, we keep his commandments.
We keep his what?
We keep his commandments.
So when we love God, we keep his commandments. When we love God, we're not going in opposite of that. We keeping his commandments if we love God. That's what this is about. If you love God, you keeping his commandments. So don't tell us that you love God when you don't. You understand? Don't tell us you love God when you actually don't love him, because you don't keep his commandments. You don't give a damn about his commandments. You
That's
understand?
right.
You're not making sure that you're following any holy days. You're not even wearing no fringes. You're not doing none of that. You know, you're not wearing no headpieces. You're not wearing no fringes. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing by going against God's word. You're going against yourself. If you black and Hispanic, you committing one of the worst things, acts of sin that you could commit. Okay. Any more on that? Verse 3.
Verse 3. For this is the love of God.
See, once again, you hear, for this is the love of God. This is the true love of God. Keeping his commandments. That's simple. Keeping his commandments. That's the love of God. Why would you not do that? Why would you not read that for yourself and ask your pastor, what does that really mean? And if you find out that he's lying, come on in here and get the truth. Because ISUPK is the home of the truth. Okay? Why would you not do that? All right. Let me get 1 Maccabees 2:49. 1 Maccabees 2:49.
1 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 49. Now when the time grew near that
Mattathias
should die, he said unto his sons, now have pride and rebuke, gotten straight, and the time of destruction and the wrath of
indignation. Yeah. Read. Now this is Mattathias on his deathbed or die. He getting ready to die. Okay, he's saying now is the time of rebuke and what? Pride and rebuke have gotten strength. Pride and rebuke have gotten strength. These people was running around just being prideful, you know, breaking all these laws. These people are doing what they're not supposed to be doing. Breaking the commandments, teaching men not to keep the commandments, overrunning us, oppressing us. Pride and feeling proud about it, being real prideful about these things, these wicked acts that they're committing at this time, at the time of Mattathias. Okay. But he said also, the time of destruction and the wrath of indignation. Okay. Also, the wrath of indignation. Now let's read the next verse.
Verse 50. Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law.
Be zealous for the law. What does that mean? Being zealous for the law.
Forgiveness?
Huh? You said forgiveness? No. Wow.
Be like determined. Be what's the word I'm looking for?
Be determined. I'll take that for sure. Be highly motivated.
Yeah, like
highly motivated. Yeah. Be vigilant. Be upright. The men who stood stiff before the Lord. Be ready. Be zealous for that law. Be ready to keep his laws. That's what Mattathias died for. You know, when you read back and go back and read what he did, he was a mighty man, a leader in Israel. And he said, be zealous for the law. You know, he said, those who want to keep the law, follow me. After he did that heroic deed by killing that Israelite who went up there to try to put an altar on the king's altar in the temple of God. Understand? He's bringing that altar up there because they had already overrun the temple of David or whatever. They already had overrun it, and he went up there trying to give his 2 cents for it. Okay, be zealous for the law. Okay, it's important. All right, hold on. So it's saying be zealous for the law, be highly motivated, be just doing what the Lord tells you to do. Be ready. Be alert. Be happy. Be thankful that the Lord didn't kill you for smoking that weed. Now you don't smoke weed no more. You following the law. Okay? Those type of things. Be ready. Okay? So where we at? This verse 50. Did you finish verse 50? Okay.
And give your lives for the
Covenant
of your fathers.
That's right. For the agreement contract for your fathers. Give your life, give your lives for that covenant of your fathers. Okay. So that's that part there. Let's go to First Maccabees 140. Now let's go to Leviticus 7 and 26. Book of Leviticus, chapter 7 and verse 26. Leviticus is where the laws are written. The laws of God are written in the book of Leviticus. Okay. Chapter 7 and verse 26.
Leviticus chapter 7 verse 26. Moreover, ye shall eat no manner of blood, whether it be of fowl or of beast, in any of your dwellings.
So this is showing you that you're not supposed to be eating blood. We don't eat blood in here. We cook your stuff, cook your food well done. Make your food well done. Make it closer to well done than not. Don't let the blood be dripping off of there, because blood signifies the life. And the Most High sees the blood. That's a representation of life. And all of the diseases go through the blood. So you could get sick as heck eating blood like that. Our oppressors love blood, by the way. They always eating that well done, real light. Just throw it under the flame and bring it out real quick, and then it's good. We're not supposed to do that as Israelites. So Leviticus is teaching you what to do and what not to do. Okay. Let's drop that. Let's go to Deuteronomy 6 and verse 1. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 1. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which the Lord your God commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it.
So the land where you go to possess it. These are the commandments, the statutes, the judgments. That's kind of self-explanatory. He's giving you these laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay, that you might do them. The Lord wants you to do these, in the land where you go to possess it. Whatever land you go to, where you go to possess it, the Lord wants you to keep these. Okay. Go ahead, continue.
Verse 2. That thou mightest fear the Lord thy God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments.
That you might fear the Lord thy God. What is that fear? What is the fear? That you might fear the Lord thy God. When you fear the Lord, you fear the consequences that you might take by not obeying the laws. Whatever consequences, whatever's going to happen by you not keeping the laws, that's fearing the Lord. Okay? Read.
Which I command thee, thou and thy sons, and thy son's son, all the days of thy life.
Right. Which I command thee, and thy sons, and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, and that the days may be prolonged. That's also in there. That your days will be prolonged. You'll live longer. Keeping God's laws, you're going to live longer. because you're going to be in obedience, man. You're going to be God's servant. Serve God, serve your brothers, man. You understand? You're keeping the laws. Your days will be prolonged. You live a full life. Okay? That's the important side to this as well. That's the benefits of keeping God's laws amongst many others. Okay? So where we at on that? Let's read verse 3.
That's not all.
Let's read verse 3.
Okay. Verse 3. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it.
Read that again.
Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it,
Continue.
that it may be well with thee, and that ye may increase mightily, as the Lord God and of thy fathers hath promised thee, and the land that floweth with milk and honey.
That's right. So keep these laws, that it may be well with you. You know, that you live mightily, you prosper, you know, in the land of milk and honey. He's teaching that back then when they were going through, coming out of Egypt, you know, and getting ready to go into the land of milk and honey. You know, keep God's laws. They were reminded to keep God's laws. You know, it's very much a part of Israel. The laws of God are very much a part of Israel, as God is a part of Israel. As our Creator, the Most High Yahweh, said, right? Did you do verse 5? Read verse 5.
And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart.
And you will love the God with all your heart. What does he mean? All your what?
All your mind?
All your mind. All right. That's right. Because the heart is the mind, right? Exactly. So you'll love God with all your mind, all your heart, all your mind. Everything up here, you love God with it because you're following what he's telling you to do. You're following his law, statutes, and commandments. Nothing else is as important. Nothing should mean anything to you. It shouldn't mean anything to you, even what's going on with you. You should be following these laws, statutes, and commandments. They should be most important to you, because you're to love God with all your mind. All right. Let's see. Continue.
And with all thy soul, and with all thy might.
With all your might. That's right. You're to love God. You're to keep his commandments, right? Okay. Let's go to 6:1 through 25. Wanted to see where it says the other part too, but that's okay. Let's go to Daniel, the book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 9. Let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 9. Okay. So Daniel chapter 9 and verse 9. To the Lord our God belongs mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. Verse 10, neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God. By obeying the voice of God is keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. That's his voice. His voice is the law. His voice is telling you to come back to the law. His voice is telling you to remain in the law. His voice is telling you to be strong in the law. His voice is to tell you to endure in the law, persevere in the law, continue the law, be great in this law, keep his laws. That's what the voice of God is telling you. Okay. Let me get verse 10. Daniel 9 and verse 10.
Verse 10, neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord or our God to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants, the prophets.
That's right. By his service, the prophets, he made these laws available for us to know. He made the prophets teach us these laws. He made the prophets warn us about breaking these laws. He made the prophets show us what the laws are. Okay. We didn't obey the voice of the Most High by keeping his laws, right? Right? That's right. So let's get verse 11.
Verse 11, ye all Israel have transgressed thy law.
So what does that mean? What did Israel do? Put it in simple terms.
We all sinned against the law
How?
by not listening.
By breaking the law. We all have broken the laws. We have transgressed the law. Sin is the transgression of law. You know, like we said, it's a transgression. When you break God's law, it's the sin. Okay. So we didn't listen to the voice of the Lord. So we broke and transgressed the law. Continue.
Even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us.
So the curse is poured upon us. By not keeping his laws, the Lord poured that curse all over you. You get that curse. You get the curses. You get to starve. You get to be put to death. You get to be ruled over by a foolish nation. Because that's what's happening with us. We're ruled by a foolish nation. Understand? It's a foolish nation that's over us, man.
That's right.
We are wise people. We're wise and understanding when we follow God's laws. But because we didn't follow them, we're run over by these oppressors, these wicked folks that are definitely doing damage to our families and to our people and to us as a nation. Understand? That's why we're number one in the abortion rate in the prisons, dope fiends and alcoholics. You know, that's why we're overrun by these things and these curses, because we walked away. We departed from the law. What does it say? Departing, even by departing, even by leaving these laws. That's why we're under what we're under. Okay, continue. After departing,
that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us.
the curse is poured upon us. Read.
And the oath that is written in the law of Moses.
The law who?
The law of Moses.
The law of Moses, because Moses was the first to bring that law down to the children of Israel, right? After we came out of Egypt, after we already came and served the hard bondage in Egypt, man. You know, we building brick without straws, getting beat by the taskmasters, getting killed. When we came and got away from them, what happened? The laws of Moses, right? The curse was poured up. Moses came, Salaki. Moses came and gave us the law. Because he went up to Mount Sinai, spoke with the Lord. The Lord gave him the tablets of the commandments, and he came down with the commandments and gave us the laws. All right. And the oath. Go ahead at that part. And the oath.
That is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him.
So who was Moses? The servant of God, right?
God.
So we didn't keep these laws and the curses fell upon us, right? Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So there's that voice again. You won't hearken unto the voice of the Lord. Read.
To observe, to do all his commandments.
No, half of them.
All his commandments.
No, part of them that you like, the ones you like.
All his commandments.
No, the ones that you think you can do the best.
All his commandments.
All his commandments, right? All of his commandments the Lord wants you to do. You know, he wants you to do all of them. Its entirety. Read.
And his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee.
These blessings, these what?
All these curses.
All these curses. All these curses shall come upon you. You're not going to get blessed for not following the Lord. You're not going to get blessed for departing the Lord. You're not going to get blessed for doing the ones that you know how to do, the part of his law, and then forget the rest. You're not going to be, getting blessed for doing the laws that you like, and the ones that you don't like doing, you don't do those. The Lord's going to put all these curses on you for breaking the laws. Okay, read.
All these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Okay, all the curses will come upon you and overtake you. Read verse 16.
Verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Are we cursed in the ghettos?
Come on.
Damn right we are. Are we cursed in the barrios?
Come on.
Damn right we are. Are we cursed on that goddamn reservation? Damn right we're cursed on the reservations. These things have come true. Curses shall you be in the city. Curses shall you be in the field. Okay. Let's go to let's see. Let's go to verse 25.
Verse 25. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies.
What does it mean to be smitten before thy enemy?
To be killed.
To be killed. That's right. Read.
Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them.
So you're going to come out there being bold and bad. And then when you find out what they got, what your oppressor got to go up, all that heat he got up against you and all them damn weapons and all them men, you're going to run 7 ways away to get the hell away from him. All right. Let's go to verse 32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Your son and your daughter will be given unto another people. Another people is another what? What would another people be? Your sons and daughters are going to be given to another people.
Another nation.
Another nation. Your sons and daughters are going to be given over to them stinking Africans. And you're going to be wearing them multicolored shirts and the funny looking baloney skin shoes, like we say, and that baseball cap that don't really fit. You ain't going to have no swag. You're going to be an African. Yeah, the Shaka Zulu and the Mtubu tribe, right? Read. Your sons and daughters are going to be given to them, given to white people.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
That's right. You're gonna be longing for your kids. You're gonna miss them children. You're gonna want to be with your children, but you all day long you're gonna be wanting for them, but you won't be able to get your children. Right?
That's right.
All the day. Read. Continue.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
You won't have the power to get your kids back. Your kids will be gone. Your whole family gone. What movie did that happen in?
Roots.
Roots by Alex Haley. Roots. The slaves that came across the transatlantic slave trade that came to America, they broke up the families. And their families couldn't bring themselves back together again because they had a massa over them. They had massa over them. They had to serve in the plantations being sharecroppers. They had to serve being slaves. Okay? There'll be no might in your hands. Yeah. Let's go to 36, verse 36.
Verse 36, the Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shall.
Okay, so he's going to take you over to a place, over a king that's going to rule over you that you never knew, that your forefathers never knew. That who is this dude? Who is this funny looking white man? Who is he? Who are these people? We don't know them. They're not Hebrew Israelites. All right, read.
Shalt thou serve other gods?
Okay.
Wood and stone.
Go back to and there.
And there shalt thou serve other gods, and wood and stone.
It doesn't say and, it says gods, wood and stone. Okay, so wood and stone, what does that mean? Mashapa?
We worship in the cross.
Right, and what is the cross? Christianity. Right. What is the wood? What's the stone? Sis?
The cobblestone.
The cobblestone, right. The cobblestone, which is under the what religion?
The Arabs.
The Arabs, right? You said the Arabs, right? Okay, I'll take that. The Arabs, you'll be serving the cobblestone. The Arabs, which you'll be serving Islam. We didn't serve Islam in Jerusalem. We didn't serve the cross in Jerusalem. We served the Most High God, Yahweh. We kept the law, statutes, and commandments. We didn't come under any formal religion. We lived the way of life that Christ lived. Christ taught us to follow the commandments. Understand the law, the book of the law. That's why we're separate above all nations. Okay, continue. Wait. Go to verse 48. Verse 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
See, these enemies, the Lord sent them against us. The Lord did that. He sent them against us. Why?
Because we weren't listening.
Why?
We weren't following the law, statutes, and commandments.
Because we were not following the law, statutes, and commandments. That's why he sent all these enemies against us. He sent these people against us. That's right. And yeah, we didn't listen. We didn't listen to the Lord, the voice of the Lord. Continue.
In hunger and in thirst and in nakedness.
So we're gonna serve our enemies in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness. We need clothes, don't we? We don't got the means to buy clothes because we don't got the means to get money enough to get us to buy the clothes that we need to be comfortable. We're hungry as heck. looking for the next meal. All right. We're thirsty, looking for something to drink. Don't got no money to go buy all that. At least enough to stock it up in your house to keep it so that you don't have to keep going to the store, you know, and you can hydrate yourself. You can feed yourself, nourish yourself, clothe yourself, put a roof over your head. We're going to serve our enemies with none of that. We've been doing that in this captivity already. We've been doing that. It's just an advanced side now. You get an EBT card now. You get to put on GR. You get a job with low wages, right? It just changed up because we in, 2021? All right. Read.
And in one of all things.
We need all things. We need all these things. We need a computer. We need a computer age, right? We need a computer. We need a cell phone. You know, we need them SD chips. We need everything in one of all things. We need a TV so we can see what's going on in the news. You know, in one of all things. We might need a babysitter, daycare. You know, we need health plans. We need all things, man. But this wicked nation hadn't given us the proper amount of the things that we need, or even the access to get these things. So the Lord cursed us. In other words, the Lord cursed us to be in this condition. It wasn't because this nation was smart and bright. The Lord said he put a foolish nation over us anyway. A foolish nation is ruling over us. But we're in want of all things because we didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. You understand? Continue.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And he will put a yoke of iron upon your neck. A yoke of iron. What is that? When did they do that? Mashapot? Transatlantic slave trade. And here in America too, on them plantations. They still had that yoke of iron on our necks, of shackles and fetters and all those things on us to keep us from running away from them because they were so cruel and disgusting and wicked and vile and treated us evil and hated us. Had that, you know, that scripture, thou hast had a perpetual hatred against thy brother Jacob. He had a perpetual hatred against us, man. You know, that's who the Lord put over us. A wicked nation, man. A foolish, wicked nation. Okay. The Yoke of Iron. What movie was that?
That's a movie called that?
There was the movie where that happened to a people. Django. Damn. Get my shit out of hand. God damn. He said Django. You damn right. That happened in Django. I thought you was gonna go back to roots though. You know what I'm saying? I thought you were gonna go back to roots. You didn't want to say it again, but if you said it again, I was about to say yeah. But hell yeah, Django and roots. That yoke of iron happened to us, man. Us in particular, our people, man. Don't let no Jewish person tell you that he was a slave. Don't ever let that's like somebody saying it's raining and they pissing on your feet. You know what I'm saying? You know, he was a slave. They made the slave ships. They financed the slave trade. Jewish people financed the slave trade. Silverman, Levin, Goldberg. You know what I'm saying? Rockefellers, all of them. They financed the trade, the slave trade. Okay. So that yoke of iron happened to us. It's right here in the book. This is the further proof that you're a Hebrew Israelite. You were a slave with a yoke of iron on your neck. Your children were taken away from you where you couldn't get them back. You served your master hungry, thirsty, and naked, because that's what happened in slavery. It's common knowledge. All right. Let's be truthful about this, right? This is what happened to us for breaking God's laws, man. You know, that's why the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is the home of the truth. Okay. Continue.
Until he have destroyed thee.
How many people got destroyed because of this, Marsha Pot? How many, man? Millions of millions of people. Thousands upon hundreds of thousands of families been destroyed because of this, man. One night, Master got drunk and got his whip and went out there and whipped you to death. Whipped you to the inches of your life, but you died from infection of those wounds. Because that wound will draw up an inch of flesh on your back. When you get hit with a whip, an inch of flesh come up from that wound. A whole inch of flesh. You go back and you're not like you're going back to the hospital or nothing. You ain't going in the ambulance. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to Kaiser. You're not going to Killer King. You're not going to Mount Mother of Mary's Hospital. You know, you're not going to those places. You're going back to that slave cabin where the dirt, where the rats, where all the disgusting animals and insects are. And you're going to go lay in that bunk that's dirty as hell with all that dirt, and you're going to get infected. And you're going to lose your life from those infections. You understand? Imagine how many that they've done to us, man. How many of our families have done to have they done these things to? You know, just like in Egypt, those taskmasters. Moses went out there and killed one of the taskmasters because he was, you know what I'm saying? He was beating the hell out one of the Hebrew Israelites while they were making the pyramids. You understand? Those are our people. Those are Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in the bondage in Egypt under the Pharaoh, making those treasure houses for him. And those taskmasters beat us to death, worked us to death, the same way they did it in the transatlantic slave trade. Moses killed that dude. He knew he wasn't supposed to, but he killed that taskmaster. Man, what the hell? What? When he found out what was happening to his people, because Mashah is our people. Moses, it was a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. Levi, Salaki. And he saw what was the condition of our people, man. And he went out, he couldn't help himself. He went out there and did it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Your homie getting jumped.
Right. See, exactly.
Your liquor store, your homie across the street or just seeing a black man getting jumped.
You seeing him getting jumped, right? You seeing him getting jumped, or a black woman, seeing him getting jumped, seeing him getting beat up. You know, you run out there to help him, man. You'll lose it. You go out there, you if you love your people, you will lose it and get out there and take care of that, have that brother's back. You understand? I'm not saying go out there and do that, but I'm not saying go out there and do that. But you know, you have to do unto others like you do to yourself. You should protect your brothers and sisters. You should. That's the truth. You should protect our people, man. Because our people are the ones that matter, man. Our people is the ones that had all these cruel things happen to us under these oppressors. Because the Lord did it first. Now, did we pay for our sins? Did we pay for all these curses that happened to us? Yes, we did. Yeah, we paid for those curses. But what happened was our oppressor furthered our afflictions. So he kept it going. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's why we're in the condition we're in now, because he kept it going. We paid for it already. That's why the Lord is angry at our oppressors. That's why New York is shut down. COVID-19. That's why they worried about these new strains of COVID coming out. That's why they stormed the White House. I mean, the Capitol. Next, it'll be the White House. Next, it'll be all these other state and local buildings or whatever. Go ahead.
The vaccines is killing people.
Oh, I didn't hear that one. They are?
Just found out.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, the Lord's sending these plagues. He's sending these plagues because just like he cursed us, it sent the plagues. He sent plagues to us back here. You know, he's sending them to our oppressor now. Our oppressor is getting the plagues now. But the main thing is, the other thing is in Egypt, how many plagues did Egypt get?
Was it 12?
Close. Take 2 away. About 10. About 10 plagues. Somewhere around that number. All right. I know it was over 9.
It was less than 12.
It was over 9. All right. Well, we had darkness was one of the plagues. We had flies was one of the plagues. They had locusts, overrun with locusts. Imagine flies. You see them flies running around? Imagine 1 billion flies just coming at you. That's what happened in Egypt. So you got darkness, flies, locusts. You got frogs. Ooh, you know frogs when frogs die. Imagine the smell when frogs die. Imagine them overrunning in here. You got 1 billion frogs come up in here, and they slimy too. They slippery and slimy. That's right. You had frogs. You had lice. Lice came. You had the water was turned, like you said, water was turned to blood. The Nile River turned into blood. See, this is what the Lord does for us, man. Complete and utter darkness. It was stated that there was so much darkness that darkness made a sound, a loud sound. It was just straight dark in Egypt. That's what they did for coming up. That's what the Lord did for coming up us again, for the Pharaoh not letting us go. Same thing they doing here in America right now, keeping us in a transatlantic slave trade. We ever go back home? Did we go back to Jerusalem, to Israel? No. But they'll tell us we African in a minute, and we're not. So all these plagues they sent to Egypt, now we got the COVID with the different strains. And look at this country has been crippled financially. It's being crippled financially. This country is being crippled in the health care. They didn't want to give us health care, remember? Now they need it. All right. The deaths of the COVID, I think it was 442,000, somewhere around there. 442,000 deaths for the COVID virus. And now you got a couple of new strains, 2 new strains out, I think. 2 new that at least they recorded.
They know, yeah.
That they know of, right? 2 new strains of the COVID, man. That is terrible, man. That is terrible. And the Lord is going to send more plagues. He's going to send more plagues because they got us here in modern day Egypt. America is nothing but modern day Egypt. The back of that dollar bill got a pyramid on it. The white in Washington, D.C., they have the obelisk, which is just that's a rod. It's actually a rod. It really is. But that obelisk comes from Egypt. Dumb. We're in modern day Egypt, and that's what's happening. We never will let go. We never came. We still live in the slave states. We still live in Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. You understand? Florida. You understand? All these states were the slave states. That's where they let the slaves go and put our forefathers and foremothers on plantations, man. We're still there, living there now, like it's the thing to be. We would never let go from our captivity. They never want to let us go. They talk about join them. Any nation that tells you to join them, that's what happened in history when a nation conquers another nation. It tells the other nation to join us. Join us. Let's become this giant melting pot. Who the hell needs a melting pot? A melting pot of people when you don't even understand or even want to understand what the brother or what the essay is going through in the hood.
We don't even eat gumbo.
The Hispanic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, what they want to know. I mean, we don't have nothing in common. We really don't have nothing in common. And we're not supposed to. Because the Lord said, thou art a holy people. What does holy mean, y'all? Young man, separate. We're a holy people unto the Lord. That's what it's. That's what that means. We're not supposed to be in some big old giant melting pot, trying to love everybody and doing. Where did all this love get you? All this love and loving everybody. America showed this love the other day when they stormed the Capitol. Oh, I love everybody. Ain't that what they tell you at the supermarket? Ain't that what they tell you at the job? Ain't that what they tell you when you say you can't stand some white folks? They love everybody. You ought to love everybody. Well, they shot that lady for grabbing Nancy Pelosi stuff in her office. They stole the damn computer and tried to sell it to the Russians. All right? And they were your good old boys. They love everybody though, right? They're hypocrites. They love they self. That's who they love, they self. You understand? And it's high time we start loving ourselves. I'm not saying go out here fighting anybody. I'm saying love our nation. Come back to this Bible. Follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. Follow the voice of God. Follow God's words. Follow the prophets, the priests and prophets right here in the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under the command of General Yohana.
That's right.
You know, follow us, man, and we'll set you free from this goddamn wicked nation, man. We'll get you into keeping God's laws, because God wants you to be in his kingdom. If you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, these are for you. This word, this class is for you and you only. God wants you because you are a special people, a holy people unto God, above all nations. Every single nation, above all nations on this planet. All right? It's high time we take care of ourselves. We start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, we will take care of ourselves. Let me get Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. I'm going to end it with that. Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. See, that's what we need to be doing. Whoever got it, go ahead and read it. Zephaniah.
Zephaniah chapter what?
2 and verse 1.
Zephaniah chapter 2 verse 1. Gather yourselves together, ye gather together.
Go back and read it at the top and read slow. Go ahead.
Zephaniah chapter 2 verse 1. Gather yourselves together, ye gather together, O nation not desired.
Gather yourselves together. Yes. Yea means yes. Yea, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. They don't desire us. That's why they stormed that White House, that Capitol. They stormed the Capitol D.C. so that they could stay in charge or stay and have their foot over us. Those are white supremacists. You know, those are people that were in the police department. Those were police departments and some military. 1 out of 5 of them were in the military. Understand? They want to continue to be over us with their foot on our neck to keep that. It's a potential to have it, to have it out, because they want to keep Trump in office. They want to keep us, therefore keeping us down. You understand? Not saying that we're with Biden either, because that's just another oppressor. You know, that's another, you know what Kamala Harris said, abortion is going to be healthcare. That's a healthcare practice. To have an abortion is a healthcare practice. God damn. That's so wicked. That's wicked like Adolf Hitler, right? Hitler wanted to exterminate the Jews. Shoot, the exterminate means to kill. To kill, abortion, when you have an abortion, you're killing your baby. You're a murderer. You are a murderer if you're aborting your children. And you are not to do so if you're Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. Because our neighborhoods, the ghettos and the barrios, bunch of Planned Parenthood clinics all over the ghetto, all over there for you to kill your baby. 350,000 abortions a year. That's genocide. So we are to gather ourselves together. Gather yourselves together, man. Get in this truth, man. Get in it. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under the command of General Yohana. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.